Hey everyone, so I wanted to talk a little bit about this story because I suppose since I've done a video on this priest on my channel before, I didn't want it to seem like I didn't know about the accusations made against him, like I wasn't aware that he's been accused of certain fairly horrific things. Um, I learned about this not long after it happened. A friend of mine sent me an article showing me what's going on, and I was still pondering whether to do a video on this or not because I felt that Father Piotr Glas hasn't officially been convicted of anything, so I shouldn't really be commenting on it until a decision is made. However, we don't know how long these things take. It could be a while, this could be going through the court system for quite a long time, so I did want to just make a comment on this. Now, the video I made about Father Piotr Glas, or Father Peter Glas, was to do with him talking about quite an amazing thing that happened to him when he was a priest still in Poland. And he essentially said that the Eucharist, the communion host, saved him from very possible death. A young man came into his church who Father Glas says was possessed, or he later learned that he was possessed, and he essentially wanted to bludgeon him to death. And Father Glas didn't know what to do, and he just instinctively took out the communion host and held it in the direction of this young man, and then supposedly the young man went flying back into the wall and sort of slid down the wall and was knocked out, and this saved Father Glas. That was the story he told. I have put up a video about this quite a while back now, but you're free to watch that if you want to. But since then, sadly, there have been some serious accusations made against this Polish priest who has been in England for quite a long time now. So the Catholic Diocese of Portsmouth actually commented on this as soon as they found out what had happened. And they said that they've been made aware by the States of Jersey Police that one of their priests, Father Peter Glas, has been charged with 10 offences against a minor. The charges relate to his time in ministry in Jersey, which was during the period 2002 to 2008. Since the concern was raised and in accordance with their safeguarding policies and procedures, Father Glas has not been in public ministry. And then they go on to say a few more things about how they recognise that the news is distressing and various ways that they try to support victims of this kind of crime. Now, what he was actually charged with was 10 offences, including 8 counts of gross indecency with a child and 2 further counts of indecent assault on a child. It says former priest at Tilhurst Church charged with 10 sexual offences involving a child, and then they go on to say that it was 8 counts of gross indecency and 2 further counts of indecent assault. Now, Father Glas worked as an exorcist as well in the priesthood, but interestingly on his Wikipedia page, and of course Wikipedia isn't the greatest source, it maybe isn't the most reliable source because anybody can edit it, but on his Wikipedia page it does say Piotr Antony Glas is a Polish Catholic priest and self-proclaimed exorcist of the Catholic Diocese of Portsmouth in the south of England. Later on in that Wikipedia page it says Glas regularly conducts exorcisms. Now I don't know when exactly that was written. I don't think he does regularly conduct exorcisms anymore. But when it was written it says he regularly conducts exorcisms. As of December 2017, Glas is not officially an exorcist, according to a statement by Chancellor of the Płock Curia. At the request of Father Bishop Artur G. Miziński, Secretary General of the Polish Bishops' Conference, we provide information about Father Piotr Glas. This former member of the Society of Christ for Polish Diaspora and currently working in the Diocese of Portsmouth in Great Britain, recently conducting many retreat sessions, days of recollection and workshops in Poland, does not have a formal consent to perform the service of an exorcism. Now the key thing there was that it said as of December 2017, Glas is not officially an exorcist. And I've seen interviews that he has done more recently, and he has actually said in those interviews that he used to be an exorcist. So there's no suggestion that he was never an exorcist and he was just acting as one. with no official authority from the church. It's more the case that he was an exorcist, and at some point he stopped being an exorcist, but he has also not claimed, as I said in the more recent interviews I've seen with him, to be an exorcist anymore. In fact, he said he was an exorcist and it took a great toll on him. So again, when it says Glas regularly conducts exorcisms, I don't know how in date that statement is, because maybe at the time it was written they felt he was still doing it, but I certainly think now he isn't, and he hasn't done so for a while. But anyway, it's a very sad situation. Obviously, we don't know whether he's guilty or not. The gut feeling is that this seems very unbelievable because he seemed like such a good priest. From the interviews I've seen with him, the talks that he's given, I've read one of his books, he just seems like a really good priest. And if a priest is a very good priest, well, then he's in the line of fire with the devil, sadly. And the devil very much wants to take good priests down. And one great way to do that is to have them accused of various sexual crimes that they did not commit. It wouldn't be the first time that a priest has been accused of sexual crimes, and he has later been found innocent. That isn't to say that this may not be true. Obviously, I don't want to call the alleged victim a liar. This could well be true. It would be shocking if it was, but it could be true, and we need to just wait and see what happens. But it just seems very uncharacteristic for such a priest to be doing this kind of thing. Particularly if when he was a priest still back in Poland, he did really have this experience where Jesus in the Eucharistic host saved him from an attacker. I can't imagine he would then go on to do such horrendous things. The only way that I could see him doing such horrendous things is if that story was completely untrue and he was never at all saved by the host in a supernatural way, and he just made it up, and actually he has these deep problems. I suppose another possibility would be that he was saved, but since then he just fell terribly and almost like forgot the amazing grace he'd received from Jesus. And honestly, if you read anything that he's written or any books where he's been interviewed in the book, the words he says are incredible. They're so in touch with the faith. They're so true and correct, and there's nothing questionable about what he says. In fact, even if you look at this Wikipedia article, it says, under controversies and beliefs, Glas has expressed disdain for multiple behaviors, identities and interests, including yoga, playing Pokemon Go, Tantra, prosperity gospel, Toronto blessings, premarital sex, intellectualism, homosexuality, tattoos, gender transitioning, gospel choirs, New Age, horoscopes, talismans, Halloween, and more. There's zero problem with him opposing any of those things because they are, I mean, maybe gospel choirs. I'm not quite sure what exactly he was opposing in gospel choirs. Perhaps there was an aspect of it that he didn't like. But generally speaking, opposing any of these things isn't against the church. So while that might be controversial in the modern secular world, it isn't controversial in the Catholic Church. So honestly, like I said, from what I've seen from him or read from him, nothing he said was ever questionable or confusing or in any way wrong or against church teaching. He just seemed like a really good holy priest, and now suddenly these charges against him are made. Now, of course, we know that Jesus had charges against him as well, and they were all false charges, and he just quietly took it. He just sort of stood there quietly. He didn't respond to a lot of the questions, a lot of the false accusations. He knew they were false. I hope this is the case with Father Piotr Glas, but of course we don't know. And I'm not going to pass any judgment until the court decides. And I would like to think and hope that the court will make its decision based on evidence, but we shall see. I'm also aware that, you know, some of the people watching this video may be his parishioners or maybe people that know him. So if you want to make any comments, please do. Or if you want to even get in touch with me, you can do. If you want to talk about it. But yeah, it's a very sad thing, and I just wanted to mention it to let you know that I am aware of these charges against Father Piotr Glas, and let's just wait and see what happens. Thanks for watching the video, folks, and have a blessed day.